This is Matrix Lord 212, and I'm talking about. Hold on, got my new headphones, and I can't even hear anything with it. Okay, talking about right now, Doctor Who. I want to talk about the character of River Song. I watched some videos about people trying to make a timeline for the character, but it's really, you really can't make a timeline because there is more adventures that await. There is a worse day coming for River Song, and I do believe it has nothing to do with her death. She probably will be faced with the death of one of her parents or both, and there are other adventures with the Doctor. Now, we probably will see adventures with River Song with the 12th Doctor, and it will probably be a River Song that had never had adventures with the Pandorica or the it's probably right after school, that she was going to school with archaeology, and that's when he encounters her, probably before she was arrested. So there's a lot of different aspects to what River Song we're going to see, but the River Song that we do see in the future should probably know of the Doctor, I would say, less of, because she hasn't encountered him in the adventures. So it's very, very tricky. It gets very, very complicated because he's supposed to know her less, but then as he travels on, he knows her more. It can be very easily, there could be a mistake made by the writing if it's not really thought of very carefully. So the final adventure before the Silence of the Library is with the Singing Towers. It is there that it's supposed to be the most special night. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I do know that he gives it a sonic screwdriver, and he says goodbye. Now, yes, we saw what we believe to be in the mini episode her going to the Singing Towers, but it doesn't necessarily mean that in that episode she does go to the Singing Towers. I think that is a special event that will only be saved for a Christmas special, or an episode. And I don't think that they will cheapen her departure on a 3-minute episode or 5-minute mini episode. So I do not believe that mini episode does it justice. And I don't think that that's going to be a mini episode. Is not going to contain her going to the Singing Towers. So I fully expect to see River Song in a full episode or a few episodes, when she leaves. Now also, I do believe that she will encounter the old Doctors because she has stated that she knows his faces. So at some point in time, she will be part of the anniversary where she will be with past Doctors. But of course, she would not call herself River Song because then the Doctor would remember. So she will probably have to call herself something else. Maybe Melody or something, and they won't even know what the hell she's talking about. So, or maybe not, I don't know. I mean, she's going to have to come up with a different name. I don't know what she would come up with, but another thing I have a problem with is the fact that the whole thing with Amy and Rory, I don't understand certain things, like with the characters of, like, to say, Rory. I don't understand how he could be a fully trained Roman soldier and then also at the same time not know how to fight and just be the nurse Rory. Very confusing. And then there's other episodes where he seems like Time Lordish and confident, and steps right in there with the Ganger episode, and puts his hand out there and makes it like he's more than what he is, and then the God complex where like Rory just talks in the past tense and he has no room, but everybody ever always has a room. I don't understand that. I was always believing that the Doctor knows that when he becomes the Valyard, that's it. That's why I really believed that, he even didn't believe that the impossible astronaut would be the one to kill him, because, if that timeline does continue, he will become evil at some point in time, and that is the day when he regenerates in the TARDIS. The TARDIS will cry, basically, and not know what to do, and, it won't go against the Doctor because, it's the Doctor, so it would just be the end of everything, really. I mean, just imagine. Could you imagine for a minute that if the Doctor became evil, as he's the greatest hero ever, he'd be the greatest villain. I mean, he would destroy basically everything. So, the only person that could combat him is his past selves, which, who knows how they would work that out. Unless, of course, the Valyard is just the human Doctor from the alternate reality with Rose. So, I mean, up in the air. I mean, I think that the 50th anniversary will have Omega and the Rani, which could be Madame Corvarian. She does look like the Rani, and it could be that she, from behind the scenes, that there was a reason why the TARDIS was led to blow up. There was a cut scene with the Russell T. Davies episode of Journey's End at the end where David Tennant, the Doctor, gives a chunk of TARDIS to Rose and the human Doctor to grow. Now, if the TARDIS was broken into bits, you probably could grow another TARDIS from a chunk of it. So I do believe that the Cylons were stowed away onto the Doctor's TARDIS to learn how to fly it. I do believe that the larger TARDIS, had to do with, was created from a broken chunk of a TARDIS, the TARDIS, and the Cylons know how to fly it. Now, if Madame Corvarian is the Rani, then that would be her TARDIS. It would make sense. But then I do believe that Omega is behind everything. It would make sense, either him or the Master or something, but there's definitely a big fish. There's someone that's behind the church, the headless monks, all that. There's someone that's behind it all, the big fish. And I think it's Omega, and if it's not Omega, it's the Master or the Valyard or Dream Lord. But if it's anybody else, I'd be very surprised. And also, you got to think too, Madame Corvarian, she's got to be a Time Lord too, because she has the ability to see alternate realities just like Amy does and just like River does. Now, Rory doesn't, but Amy does and River does. In fact, River does so much that with the Doctor erased from existence, she still knew him and she gave Amy the empty book. So, right there, it's like, if anybody was a Time Lord, I would say would be Amy. But once again, this whole thing, you got to really think about it. And if that was the case, and it would be so easy for, someone to pop out a Time Lord just by traveling in the time vortex, then they would all do it. And it just wouldn't make sense that, it's that easy. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying every time, the Doctor, he don't want to regenerate, he just chop his hand off, and then, regenerate and put the regeneration energy into his hand. I mean, that's, he would do that every single time if he didn't want to regenerate. So, and there'd be a meta-crisis like every, couple of years. So, it just won't work all the time. So a lot of things going out there right now. This Amy Rory thing, we're hearing with the divorce. I don't understand. I would have never expected that in a million years. So I don't know where they're going with that. I don't even know how it got to that point. We know that they're rich because she's like, a model for like a perfume, the girl who waited ad campaign. But, and why Rory would be getting divorced would make no sense whatsoever, because he would live thousands of years to protect her from the, from the Pandora. So, I really don't understand that at all. Why would they ever get a divorce? I mean, if anything, it would be Amy divorcing and not Rory. So I don't understand that. I'm going to have to wait and see what they really do with that. But I'm ranting right now because there's a lot of different things going on. But with all the Daleks getting put together, it could be a few things. It could be a war with the Daleks against the Cylons, like I said from the very beginning. I said that, the Silence could be overrunning the universe, and the Daleks could have to get all its forces, whatever style, whatever. I said this in one of my first videos. I said that the Daleks could be in a war with the Silence. So obviously there is a threat where they would have to get every single Dalek everywhere to battle it. So I'm thinking it's the Silence. I could be wrong. Also, another thing too that really wasn't touched upon was, you have Madame de Pompadour and then Madame Corvarian. Is there any significance to the Madame title? We know full well that Sophia Mouse is not returning as Madame de Pompadour, and you know what? It is in a way great, because it wouldn't ruin the girl in the fireplace. But you always got the sense that she was a Time Lord, because she was able to look in his mind like he was able to look in hers, and she was extra special, so of a character. So I would have always envisioned her as a Time Lord anyway, and I know she's a character from the real world and everything like that. But and yes, I did say, oh, we've never seen her die, but I mean, it's a thing where, like, I still to this day think that the Time Lords had something to do with the building of that ship, because Earthlings didn't have the capacity to make time windows and that type of invention. Even in the 51st century, even New Earth, they still didn't have the capacity. Billions and billions of years. So the Time Lords probably did it after 100 billion years in existence or whatever. I mean, so that's what it is basically. So I'm just ranting here now, but and this video I don't even know if I was gonna make it. So all right, thanks a lot. Please subscribe.